Don Giovanni, an opera that seems to delight audiences and strike fear into the heart of any sensible director. Jonathan Miller called the piece undirectable, and I think I know what he means. Mozart and Da Ponte called their second collaboration a dramma giocoso. But what can we do with a comedy that starts with murder and attempted rape? In what universe do we root for the bad guy? Because he's pretty, because he's the title character, because he almost gets away with murder? What other world is turned so upside down right from the start? Film noir. Born of the angst and unrest left behind by the Second World War, made in an atmosphere of fear and distrust and uncertainty, with strong female characters who are just as rotten as the men in their lives, where there's no such thing as innocence, and where the anti-hero knows he's going to get it, but is going to take us along for the ride. Here is a world in which Giovanni makes sense. Here's a world in which Elvira becomes not the screaming harpy of late 18th century opera, but a true femme fatale, sexy, tough, uncompromising, dressed to the nines, ready to give as good as she gets and not willing to take no for an answer. Her only problem is that she loves him, and in truth they're perfect for one another, if either of them lives long enough for it to happen. Beware the scorned woman, especially when she has a gun in her hand. Anna, innocent victim or femme in waiting, even we aren't quite sure. Her future becomes caught up with Giovanni's in ways that she can only imagine, and we know from the outset that poor Ottavio doesn't have a chance. In noir, the young couple might survive, but their innocence is always the price. Haunted by the vision of her dead father in the street, the commendatore who now inhabits Giovanni's dreams, we wonder if they can find their way through the tragedy and back to each other. And then there's Zerlina, a testament to just how fast a girl can grow up in a Mozart opera. She goes straight from her wedding rehearsal to the casting couch, and Mazzetto never knows what hits him. In the end, she's a survivor, and Mazzetto is too, and maybe theirs is the only real happy ending we're gonna get. Leporello. In a fedora and a trench coat, always set with a wise crack and a bit of truth, world-weary, amoral, but strangely lovable, we like him more than anybody else. We never doubt that he won't get pulled down into Giovanni's pit of mania and destruction. In the noir city of long shadows and endless nights, he's there from the beginning, and still there at the end, disappearing into the fog. And what of Giovanni? Dark and handsome, he pulls us into a world of manic energy and desire, and we can't help but root for him, even as the forces of justice and the forces of darkness close in around him. He's the classic noir anti-hero, and when he's gone, the world is safer, sure, but so empty and so much less interesting. In the end, the other characters try to put their lives back together and make sense of it all. But in noir, and in Don Giovanni, it's the questions that linger.